phones or put the handphone to silent mode. Alright, during the whole session for the night. Please, that's a simple request. If you may, switch off your handphone or put your handphone into silent mode. Okay, so anything now, our guest corner is coming to you, is going to walk into this room. Remember, let's rise, all stand, and give her a warm welcome. Alright? Okay, this is for my announcement. Thank you.
seat. So today is indeed a very joyous occasion. We are very excited today to have our distinguished guest here. Is our Choying Dolma, Buddhist nun, who is from Kathmandu, Nepal, and she is also known as Choying Dolma. With her beautiful voice, she is known in Nepal and throughout the world for bringing many Tibetan Buddhist chants and free songs to the mainstream audiences. She has been recently appointed as National Goodwill Ambassador to Nepal. So I'm sure in this very occasion we have this wonderful meet and greet session. Many people is anxious to know more about our Ani and her Dharma in her. So I think I'll begin with a series of questions. So at the end of the session, if you have any question, can please feel free to pass your question to the stage. And I think Ani is very obliged, very happy to answer your question. Thank you very much. So here's the first question. How does one control and change one's destiny in your point of view? Anila, please.
First of all, Anita, my very humble respect to our chief ethnic Christian pastor, all the other our classes, venerables, and senior practitioners, young practitioners, pastors, my humble respect to you all. Thank you so much for the invitation to be here, as well as for the warm love that I always receive. I'm very grateful for that. Well, regarding the question, as we believe that our karma, many lifetime as it is there, the continuity of many lifetime is continuity of our karmic action, our karma. So to correct one's own destiny, or it all depends on what we do, in our good deeds. Mental deeds, verbal deeds, physical deeds, all when we are able to lead towards the correct way of deeds, which means the practice of kindness, compassion, and from very subtle level to very gross level, however way possible. The basic foundation of human nature is that we all wish to be happy in life. In order to achieve that happiness, you have to sow the seed of goodness in everything that you do in order to bear the fruit of happiness. So that's how I believe, and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to correct my karma in every way possible. So, and I believe that it will lead us towards correcting our destiny.
Thank you very much. I think it goes well accord with our three goodness of practice, which was broken by Master Xing Yun, that we always say, do good deeds, have good thoughts, and have a good heart. Okay, so this is precisely what everybody is practicing now.
And I want to make one thing very clear, that I'm not someone who is very highly knowledge here, or I'm not a scholar here to really teach you something great or anything like that. I'm just a practitioner myself, as you are. I'm also learning, in the process of learning and growing. So in the process of correcting my own karma, but throughout the experience, I might have some experiences that I'm trying to share with you. But it is not necessary to think that whatever I'm going through is relevant to you as well. So if anything makes sense, please rejoice. if anything doesn't make sense, please forgive me, because as there is a saying, when a stupid speaks, the intelligent learns. So I think that's the better way to think it.
I appreciate your humbleness. Thank you very much. In today's topic, we are actually talking about destiny and what is the Buddhist perspective about destiny. So, similar to other religions, Buddhism has many blessings and prayer ceremonies. Do these ceremonies help in changing one's destiny? If not, what is true purpose for temples to hold these ceremonies?
I believe that the ceremonies, prayer ceremonies, ritual ceremonies, these are just a method, it's a different technique of how to bring our mind into the right direction, In order to focus, we need something to focus your mind to it. So either that is through your prayer ceremony or ritual ceremony or just chanting, or, it helps us to focus into one specific thing. That means like your mind is not engaged into hundreds of things at one time. So when your mind is not engaged into hundreds of things at one time, then if you're focused into one thing, less loads to your mind. When there's less load means you will feel not so tired. So engaging your mind into less and less things, and the best way to engage your mind is through your prayers. Because during your prayers, your motivation, your mind is in the proper state, proper motivation, proper, focus. So that's how it helps. And temples are places where naturally it's a symbolic place where when you enter, automatically your mind becomes very humble. You immediately bow down. When you bow down means you always make a physical gesture that there's someone greater up there. So usually what happens is our mind is so strongly engaged into the ego of oneself being, I know everything, I'm special, I am the one, kind of attitude that we always have, through which we sometimes might end up insulting some people or discriminating some people, or make some people somehow somewhere without your intention or with intention, we end up hurting or disrespecting. So that might cause suffering to the other person, suffering to oneself. So monasteries or temples, when we go, it is a place where it really can help you to be more humble. And when you are humble and bow down and meditate or engage oneself into prayer ceremony, it is a moment that you engage your mind into such state that absence of your hope and fear, no negativity, even for a short moment, when you are capable of making oneself free from these negative emotions of the past, present, future, at least you are engaged into something very positive, or even for a short moment you are in the very pure state of your mind or your heart. So absence of negativity means purity. Purity represents kindness, compassion, and your wisdom. So I think it's a very good, way to try to find ways, whenever you are free, try to pay respect to the temple, to the monastery, to the vasanas, venerables, and engage into prayer ceremonies or meditation, a collective meditation practice, or ritual ceremonies. However way, it is always good. Collective ceremonies are even far much more powerful than practicing alone, So that's, I think, for such reason, I think it is very important to have temples and centers and prayer ceremonies, all these things.
So, Ani, I really inspired by your words just now. Further to your question just now, we can see there's a lot of practitioners who is practicing isolation too. Do you agree? So, who are the person who is suitable to practice in isolation, whereas who are the person is suitable to do the cultivation collectively or in a big assembly?
I really don't think I'm in a position to say who's the right candidate to be in isolation or who's the candidate to be in collective practice. I think whatever makes you more comfortable, whatever, whichever, in the isolation, if you feel more focused and more clear, it's very good. If you're feeling like you're more encouraged and more enthusiastic when you are together with the many other Sangha, brothers and sisters, that's also wonderful. Whatever assists you, to make you feel more determined, more diligent, more active in the practice, that's what you should look forward to.
Thank you very much. Anila, I do think that some people in the floor here may have a different thinking, where they might think that it is not necessary for us to embrace a religion, because one can change their destiny even without embracing a religion. They can change their destiny by their own goodwill, their determination, and so on and so forth. So, how do you think about this? What is your perspective on this question?
See, first of all, I think identifying Buddhism as a religion itself is quite of a very difficult thing to really explain, But when you have a community who are engaged into the same thing, it might turn out to be a good support system for one's own practice too. So belonging to a community, in terms of when you are weak or you are confused or you're lost, you might receive good support. So for such reason, being with the community, with the Sangha, it's helpful, It's not about a certificate, or you say you have a certificate saying that I am now the Buddhist, and you have the certificate and you don't have a pure heart, really doesn't mean anything. Buddha's teaching is not about, being a so-called this tagline or that tagline. It is all about improving the quality of your life, the way you think, the way you speak, the way you do things in life, which brings more meaning and sensible way of behaving, through which we are able to, serve, care, and share for others, through which we will be able to enjoy the benefits equally, So that's, I think, how it is. It is not about putting a, certificate on your forehead.
Thank you very much. Anila, I think since young you are gifted with such a great talent and with the wonderful voices. So many people, when they listen to your voice, there are some people who share with me. How do you?
But you see, a little bit follower of the path of Buddha, service of others. However, something might teach, I chant the sutras or I chant, so probably generating that blessing to make the impact, as it's called, the feel the heal. And the mantras, the self-worth. So it's benefited by listening to my music. I need to correct my karma on.
You are sharing, have this great impact from Saudi Arabia, are inviting us.
Okay, I was invited UAE. I regret the it doesn't mean that I have respect for them. It's a big, huge, they like to have me. And they said, oh, it was very special. It made us feel something very, very deep and different. And I said, oh, this is just a song to activate compassion. And then they said, oh, it was very touching, very beautiful. And I moved forward, and then another gentleman was running after me and calling me, and that was a cameraman actually for the event. And he says, ma'am, excuse me, ma'am. And I say, yes, can you please tell me what was the song that you sang? And I said, why? He said, you know, I've never had tears when I listen to music. But for the first time, I could not control my tears. And while I was filming you, I had tears in my eyes. And you know, and I said the same thing. Oh, it's a song to activate compassion. and I asked him, where are you from? And he said, I'm from Manila. I'm a Catholic. And I was like, oh, how wonderful. I deeply rejoiced. So it seems like Buddha's teaching, following Buddha's teaching or practicing Buddha's teaching is not about being, you know, a Buddhist or Hindu or Christian. It's about, you know, universal, you know, truth. So nobody can say that, oh, this is not right. Nobody can object to it, I think. So everyone, compassion, the feeling of compassion and kindness is universal. So it touched anyone who ever listened to it. So I feel so good. So I felt at the same time, I was so happy about the fact that my image is becoming beyond religion. So, and as a Buddhist practitioner, I think that's what we should look into. Instead of we becoming very communal or very, you know, dividing, saying that, oh, we are Buddhists, we are better than others, or they are Hindu, they are not good. You know, we should, I think if you're a true practitioner of Buddha's teaching, you should be able to really practice hard to be free from any discriminative attitude. You know, if you're a true follower of Buddha, you're about, you know, embracing, you know, everything, everyone, every being. And I don't mean to say I'm capable of doing completely like that, but I'm really sincerely trying myself and very sincerely trying. So.
I believe all of us here are inspired by your words. Whatever is beyond religion, I think this is what we most
but
strive for.
of course, I know some of you might think that, oh, but this is so difficult. It's easier said than done. I also know that. But I think it's time to stop being hypocrites also. So we all understand what is the right thing. But the question is, are we really sincere towards what we understand, what we learn? Do we just keep the teaching only in the head, or we are able to apply it in the heart? So at least if you can't, I mean, it's not possible to transform overnight, but at least the sincere effort to bring the transformation maybe is something very good enough.
Thank you very much. So, because now you are a Buddhist practitioner, Buddhist nun, how do you balance your life between a Buddhist nun and a musician who go so many places to sing and share with others? Do you think there is any contradiction, or how do you balance it with a hectic schedule? I think a lot of us is very...
I don't try to think too much about these things, you know. I try to engage, you know, as a musician we use this word called improvisation. I try to improvise my life as it comes. But of course, as a practitioner, as being a nun, of course there are certain very basic rules that you have to follow, which I sincerely try. But then, of course, according to the situation, sometimes some of those behaviors are not very practical. So I have to be able to improvise, you know. So, but the most important thing, as I said it earlier, if my motivation, my attitude is clear or not. You know, I check on that. If I'm cheating myself or I'm lying to myself, that's what the question I usually try to frequently ask myself. If I find myself lying to myself, I feel sorry and I regret. And then I say to myself, not again. There's no chances of getting carried away. That is a very, you know, human nature. Sometimes, yes, I get pampered so much. I receive so much love, so much admiration. I do get carried away sometimes too. It's very but at the same time, instead of really getting carried away, I mean, I pray to my Guru very much frequently. As long as I don't forget my Guru, I think I will not make mistakes on my path. But sometimes I enjoy being pampered.
So this very next question is about what do you think about the women in Himalayan mountain region should do to change their destiny and become the master of their life? What is your
To
advice
change
them
their
people?
destiny, I just think it's a very collective effort that is required from the very community level. You know, society, the nation, the law of the nation, the culture of the society. Everything needs to be corrected. You know, we in Nepal, we live in a society where patriarchal attitude is very ignorantly still practiced. The attitude of the society, whether that is men or women, both, still somewhere subconsciously believes that we as women are lesser, capable than men. We are inferior to men. So we still have women who believes in that, and that is the saddest part. You know. So as Buddha says, all sentient beings are equally capable of achieving enlightenment, especially, let's say, men and women. Just the gender is the difference. Other than that, there is no difference in how we are both capable of achieving enlightenment, right? So, but there are some who are more fortunate and blessed, like us. And I think it's our responsibility to really play as a role model, to inspire or to encourage or to support or provide the facility to help them to realize their own potential as an individual existence who is equally capable of achieving their own happiness, at the same time being capable of serving others. So I think it's a big responsibility. I think we are all engaged into that with the blessing of our teachers. We have the right, leaders in our life.
Thank you very much. So I know you are trying very hard in Nepal to adjust or to change this gender inequality amongst the women. And what is your undertaking currently in Nepal? What do you do at this moment in your country to change this situation?
Besides my singing and as a person, as a character, as individual character, as myself, who is a woman, and being in such a society itself is something that I'm trying to really believe that I can inspire many women. And at the same time, the financial resources that I'm able to generate through my musical programs, I'm trying to facilitate educational opportunities for many young girls in Nepal who are probably not capable of having the higher academic education otherwise. So I'm trying to assist them to find the financial resources to take care of them in order to achieve better educational opportunities. And most important thing is, as they're saying, if you want the change, be the change. So that's what I'm trying to set an example of myself too in the society. So besides that, I'm finding ways, however way possible, as skillfully as possible in the field of medical service or education. I'm trying to do whatever little bit. I cannot claim that I have done a lot, but I am blessed that I am in the path and I'm making the right effort.
I think I would like to name a little bit of what Ani is doing at this moment of time. She has 32 dialysis machine at this point of time, and then she runs two schools. One is the deliveries, and one is for the preschool children. She focuses a lot on education and also the charity work. And this is what she's doing to provide to the people in the country. And now, I would like to share a few words because I met Ani during the Nepal earthquake. During the time, I remember after our mission, I showed her what are the places that we have been through, and we have been giving relief goods to the people. And she told me, oh, these are all the very outside, places. What other places that she go is, she has to go to until the car cannot drive, and then she have to carry all the goods with her and walk for 2 days. Then finally reach that shelters for the people.
But
I
not myself.
admire,
I'm too lazy for that. I provide the people and the materials to go to really like 10 hours drive and then 2 days walk. The places that people usually wouldn't be easy access to reach there. And then the saddest part is some of the areas of our country in Nepal, the Christian missionaries are very active. And some of the few villages are, converted like all at once. So that is like, people themselves actually are sad about it. Not that we want to discriminate any other religion or we want to disrespect any other religion, but that they sounded very sad, some of the people. So they asked us for help. So that's how I was able to approach them and then, send people there to, deliver the service. We rebuilt schools there and then sent some relief materials and so on. So a little bit of here and there. That's all.
Thank you very much. So, very fast, we come to our last question. So, if you have any question on the floor, please pass to me, that you can take this opportunity to ask more about Ani and guidance if possible. This very last question is about, most of us here couldn't able to attend the concert in Istana Budaya, and we all think it's really a letdown thing. So may I request here on behalf of all the audience here that you may bless us with some verses of Buddhist chant. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Namo Ratnaraya, Namo Aryaja, Sagara Berozan, Yoga Rajaya Tathagataya, Arahate Samye Sambuddha. Namo Sarvadhayate Vyarahade Samyek Sambuddhebhyo Namo Arya Arogyane Shvaraya Bodhisatoya Mahasatoya It
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I believe all of us have greatly benefited from what you said just now. So now, do you have any questions so far on the floor? Do you want to ask questions at this moment of time? No. Okay. So if there's no question, so shall we invite our venerable venerable director here to give a token of appreciation for wonderful sharing with us such a wonderful Dharma today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone.
Our episode to say a few words.
I know Ani Choying Dolma a few years ago, also because the conditions when we visit the earthquake in Nepal. Then I saw such a very great person, very got compassion mind, see how to want to help the people in the country. So at that time I remember me and Madam Xiao, and then together go there. From that time we have a very good Dharma friendship. Even we are in different different like tradition, but our minds always the same. What we have followed the Dharma's teachings and practice and propagate the true Dharma. And I'm very touched. One of our disciples is our Michael and Audrey. They are from Swan Foundations. They told me, they want to invite Ani Choying to come to Malaysia. Suddenly I feel that, this is the pressure of our country, Malaysia. Now Malaysia needs many blessings. Our country, actually many people need the blessing by a special, what is that, compassion, inspiration, right? I think everyone needs. So such a great we can have on after tomorrow, is it? The 4th in Istana Budaya. So I asked Madam Audrey, I said, how about, is it any problems to sell the ticket? So, no more ticket. Also, but we not only what was the Buddha say. Not want to see my real person to come, but important is my Dharma, my teaching. So not only want to learn to hear what Ani Choying is singing, but important the Dharma, what she's teach. So I hope that one day all of you really reach the mind, very peace and equanimity. Not only listen to the music, but important through the Dharma, right? Another one, please come, Michael and Audrey. I know they are very low profile, but please Dharma's family. Another one that I want to introduce is Madam Xiao.
And I want to thank Vivian also for taking the initiative to organize today's evening as well. Thank you.
Mother Xiao, actually, she's a bodhisattva.
Yes.
She's not a nun, but her mind is like nun. She always do many charities,
Yes.
but never let people know. She went to Nepal, she went to India, she went to China, she went to Tibet, many places. Where God, what's the Bodhisattva, I want to give this one Bodhisattva say, where God, 哪里有苦难，他就去哪里。This is really. So, today, all of you are also Bodhisattva. And then we meet together. 我们是诸善善人聚会一处。So everyone, don't upset. Okay? Even 2020, many people told me, the financial is not so well. The work is not so smooth. Don't worry, you got Dharma. 你有佛法，你就有办法。When you have the wish, you want to help people, the power is coming. Okay, so you think you want to help Choying to build the school, to build a hospital, to help people. You want to help Sinju Foundation, any other foundation, even Fubang also. We do many things because not for ourselves, for non-self. So we hardworking to do and work in France. I think our future is bright and blessed by Buddha. Okay.
I really want to express my deepest gratitude to Venerable Wisdom Francis. Thank you so much for always, every time I came here to Malaysia, she always blessed me with her so much love and support. Really, I really feel very encouraged and supported by you and all the venerables, so kind to me, and thank you so much. And I'm so sorry that tickets are really sold out. But 2020 is a year of Visit Nepal. I want to invite you all to visit Nepal. If you are a true Buddhist, you must pay respect to Lumpini at least once in your lifetime. I'm so happy that my country, my government in Nepal has tried to make extra effort making 2020 a very successful year, to have as many people to come and visit Nepal. Especially, of course, they understand that many Buddhists all over the world, they must visit Lumbini. So they're trying to invite all and make this year successful. So please support. Welcome to Nepal.
One secret I tell you, and you cannot sleep well, listen to the Dharani from An. When your children are very naughty, don't have no punishment. Ask him or her to listen to Dharani. Right? When your husband or your wife seems very hyper or some worry, listen to this Dharani. Okay? This is what's the secret. Always I pass to my disciple. Okay? But today, the Venerable Wing is coming. She's so very good in singing also. We have received the blessing from Dolma. You also must blessing her very healthy and very long life, right? So all of you must sing. All of you sing, not 大悲咒, but 心经, okay? Okay? Please, 你带着大家唱心经，回向呢给我们安利教音长寿、平安、吉祥，可以吗？心经。One thing I know some of you want to donation to any Chinese school, right? You can donation, but I forget to prepare the big envelope, so this is a donation. 这个大庆让你们放啊，可以吗？可以。Up to you， 你们自己 donation 大庆那边跟佛陀讲一声 ，All right？ 1块不嫌少，1块钱不嫌少，100块不嫌多。我听说法师们有准备，有准备。那当我们的 Green 法师 sing 的时候 ，all must sing together， 很重要，一面供养一面唱啊，可以吗？
This is the mantra, the hastra that is I sing before. Okay. 好，我们一起哦。我自在菩萨，心诚般若波罗蜜多时，照见五蕴皆空，度一切苦厄，舍利子，舍不异空，空不异色，色即是空，空即是色，受想行识，亦无如是。舍利子，是诸法空相，
每一个人一起唱。
无生无灭，无垢不净，无增无减，是故空中无色，无所相行识，无眼耳鼻舌身意，无色声香味触法，无眼界乃至无灵世界，无明无明尽，乃至无老死，亦无老死尽，无苦集灭道，无智亦无得，亦无所得故。菩提萨埵依般若波罗蜜多故，心无怪无怪故，无有空故，远离颠倒梦想，究竟涅槃。三世诸佛依般若波罗蜜多故，得妙多罗三藐三菩提。故知般若波罗蜜多，四大神咒，四大明咒，是无上咒，是无等等咒，能除一切苦，真实不虚。故说般若波罗蜜多咒，即说咒曰：嘎爹嘎爹。
souvenir presented by Aziz.
Our heart from everyone here, okay?
Now we shall take a big group photo. So please, everyone, please be seated now. We are going to take a group photo now. Thank you.
同学，前面。